Welcome to our usual hovers. I'm Meeka Nomicon, and today I'm playing for the game The Unkillable King, where we play as the newly coronated king of Alicia, and as we go about fulfilling our duties to our kingdom, we can't help but feel that something strange has been affecting us. You were born Prince Valentin Biserath of Alicia, a powerful kingdom with many enemies. Your older brother, the heir to the throne, has been assassinated. Suddenly, you found yourself with the weight of the kingdom on your shoulders. Today is your coronation, and your betrothed is arriving from a neighboring country to solidify peace in the region. Although you know little of your responsibilities, you have no choice but to rule and protect your kingdom. Oh, that's gotta suck. I mean, imagine going your entire life knowing you're the second son, so you probably won't have to take that throne. And now you're kind of just dumped in the middle of it. I mean, I'm sure there'd probably been a couple of lessons, just on the off chance this scenario happened, but probably nowhere as extensive as with the heir. You fidget with the gold trim of your coat as you listen to the people talking around you. For the past hour, you had stopped paying attention to what they were saying. Boring political nonsense, all of it. Your mother, Queen Esper, gives you an irritated sigh. Valentin, what did I just tell you? What is the likely thing you would have told me? Well, I mean, that's the truth, and probably what will get me in the least trouble, right? But I feel like we can lie our way around this. If we say our defenses are weak, is that going to upset her? You know what? I'm going to go for the weak defenses. Do not embarrass me in front of the court, child. Please. I feel like that was the wrong answer. They might be weak defenses, you never know. She pinches her nose and groans. I understand your new position is a sudden one, but you need to catch up to where your brother was. I mean, I never did ask for this, but do I really want to sow dissension into my kingdom after I've only just been coronated? Ah, bite my tongue. Yes, mother. I will repeat myself. Listen this time. Princess Alina has just arrived. This is our chance to improve our relations with Lear. I don't feel like that was one of the options. I feel like I was set up to fail. If we can manage to forge an alliance with them, we will be well protected in the east. Pray, be kind to her, child, or we may not get this chance again. Oh, I'm gonna have to marry her, aren't I? Okay, if I'm a child, I'm not allowed to marry. I'm far too young, right? Do you know what? I will do as I must. You are king of the greatest country in the world. Stop sniveling. Mother, I just lost my brother. Be kind to me. A young woman and her personal elven guard enter the throne room. She curtsies at you and speaks softly. Greetings, my lord. I am Princess Alina, your betrothed. But I can't really be too dismissive. I feel like I will quite literally be murdered by my mother instantly if I go against what she just told me to do. If I say to call me Vlad, is that gonna be too informal? Especially in the middle of court. Like, I feel like if we were alone and just speaking to one another, that's probably an appropriate thing to do. But I shall be diplomatic, I think, this time. It is a pleasure to finally meet you, Alina. The pleasure is all mine, Your Grace. I hope I can assist you in the diplomatic affairs of our countries. We will be arranging a feast to celebrate your arrival tonight, Princess. Valia, we'll get you settled in the castle. She motioned for you to get up. I don't know which is the appropriate response. Like, I feel like if we order the servants to carry her things, that's expected, right? Is it gonna look bad on me as a king if I don't? You know what? I hope you haven't got too many things, so I'll just offer to carry her things. Oh, why thank you, Your Grace. Don't worry, I can carry some of it myself. Oh, there we go. I seem to have pleased Alina. She holds on to her personal bag tightly as she allows you to grab the rest. You arrive in your bedchambers and gently set Alina's belongings on the chest at the foot of your bed. Alina thanks you and sets her bag beside the other luggage. Her guard stays close to her, but he has his eyes on you. I hope this room is to your liking. I feel like it might be far too soon for us to suggest the guard stays outside. That is highly inappropriate. So I'll just say I hope you like the room.
It very much is, thank you. I understand it must be strange, knowing you must share it from here on out. I appreciate your hospitality.
I don't feel like I'm close enough yet to ask if you dislike the courtly stuff. So I'll keep to diplomacy, I think. Certainly. It's the least I can do.
Oh, and my apologies. This is my personal guard, Sasha. He has been a servant to our royal family since he was a child.
Sasha bows. It is a pleasure to meet you, Your Grace. Well, I will thank you for protecting my soon-to-be wife. I would wish to do nothing else, my lord.
So, is this truly your first day as king?
I say we avoid mentioning our lack of training. I mean, regardless of what answer we say, actually, we're gonna have to mention the fact we don't know what we're doing. I don't feel like this is gonna instill a lot of confidence in our future wife. You know what? I feel like it is, given my lack of training, I think I'm doing okay. It's the most confident answer we could possibly give her. So let's go with that one.
Alina smiles at you. I think you are doing wonderfully. Tomorrow will be a big day for both of us. I heard they will be going over some crucial problems. For Felicia, we will probably be stuck in the royal court the entire day.
Oh, that sounds delightful. Oh, I love being a king. You know what? It's nothing I can't handle. Or shall we ask if you'll be there? I'll go it's nothing I can't handle.
That's the spirit. This is a burden we can bear together. Will your mother be there too?
Yes, she is my advisor, even though she does hound me a lot.
I see. She seemed upset today.
That is her usual demeanor. She is not ecstatic about me becoming king.
Why is that?
I'm weak. My brother was a better leader. I mean, the brother is always going to be a better leader if he gets more kingly lessons. Which is understandable if he was the heir, but still, he did have the advantage. She doesn't think I live up to the impression left behind by my father and brother.
You need not compare yourself to them. Focus on yourself and what you can do for your people.
Thank you, Alina. Truly. A servant knocks on your door and tells you it is time for the beast. That does look mighty tasty. It reminds me like when you see the meals in like Studio Ghibli films. Everything just looks really delicious. Your grand dining hall is packed with the nobility from Valician provinces and new emissaries from Lear. You sit in the elevated table at the royal court with your mother on your left and your betrothed at your right.
Did you find everything to your liking in the castle, dear? Oh yes, very much so. For such cold lands, you Valicians know how to make your living quarters warm and inviting. I am pleased to hear. Please do not hesitate to ask for any accommodations.
A lanky man in a modest red cloak sits beside the queen. Age has worn away at his hands and face, leaving him grey and tired-looking. Forgive me for my lateness. I was treating my recent cases at the church, and time just slipped away from me.
It's quite all right, dear. Please, take a seat and enjoy the festivities.
Queen Asphere offers Vladimir a glass of wine, which he promptly refuses. Oh, and is this the lovely blossom from Lear? It is nice to meet you. I'm Vladimir.
Oh, you are the High Priest of Valicia, yes?
That is correct. I have spent the past 2 decades tutoring Veliton, here in the sanctity of his position.
I've heard how interconnected the church and royal court are here in Valicia.
Oh, yes. I will be in and out of this castle quite a bit, advising our king.
Another man, this one much younger and heavy-set, sits beside Vladimir.
Apologies, my lord. I was helping Vladimir here restrain the cases of the church.
Restrain them?
Unfortunately, yes. We have been seeing an increased number of demonic infestations and even possessions as of recent. It is dreadful work, but someone must rescue these poor souls. Thank you again, Dania, for helping me finish up treatment. It is much easier when I have another set of hands. Don't mention it. Just don't forget the payment. Of course.
Elena, this is Danila. He is the King's Sword. He informs the court of our whereabouts in the Eastern Front, and is also Valentin's closest Kingsguard. Ah, like Sasha.
As long as it pays, I'm happy to do any dirty work you might need, my lady.
Thank you, sir.
Well, at least he's upfront about it. Then again, does that mean his loyalty can be bought away from us? I'm not a knight. Just Dunilla is fine.
At the far end of your elevated table, a dark figure stands and begins to walk off. It takes you a moment to recognize him as Pavel Sora, your high mage. Unlike the others at your table, Pavel appears to have ancestry with the birdfolk of Avir, though he is very secretive of his past. He bears a pair of magnificent black wings that sprout from his shoulder blades, and his mage's cloak that has been adjusted to fit his bird-like lower torso. Pavel has been part of the royal court long before you were born, but for some reason, he seldom speaks directly to you. Forgive me, Queen Esper. May I excuse myself early? I am feeling a bit unwell. Certainly, Master Sora. I do hope you feel better. Was that Avir?
Yes. His name is Pavel. Despite his ancestry, he is a naturalized Valician. He has been here longer than I have. I think we are actually about the same age. A funny thing, isn't it? The lifespan of Avir. What we humans wouldn't give to be useful for as long as that man.
The feast carries on late into the night. You drink together with Danila, Sasha, and Alina. It feels nice to have more people your age in the royal court for once. Having gorged yourself on everything you could, you all stumble off to bed. You don't even remember falling asleep. You wake up outside. You're in your night clothes, lying in the grey woods you recognize as the outskirts of the kingdom.
You know how I feel about calling out for help. It will inevitably get us murdered, so let's have a quick look around. Also, I'm really curious about how exactly our brother died. I know it's through assassination, but by who exactly?
Although you recognize these woods, you can't quite place where exactly you are. You appear to be alone in this forest. It is so silent, you can hear the soft pitter-patter of snowflakes around you. You get up and begin to look around for a road or any tracks that might show you how you got here, but the snow makes it difficult to discern anything. As you walk, you begin to feel a presence behind you.
You know what? I do believe we should make friends, so let's turn around.
The forest behind you has grown dark, and your footprints are nowhere to be seen.
Wait. Is he attached to my back, so every time I turn around, he's still behind me? We should investigate.
You turn back and curiously enter the darkened woods that were lurking behind you. You see a pair of glowing eyes peering at you from the darkness.
Okay, I know I said that calling out for help would get us killed, and I still believe that, but now that we've seen the monster, I want to greet it. Oh, what nice teeth you have! I'm going to be consumed, aren't I?
A misshapen grin creeps across the figure's face. You suddenly awaken,
But you aren't in bed. You're standing in the middle of your bedchambers, and someone is shaking you by your shoulders. Don't you know you're not supposed to wake a sleepwalker? Oh, Alina!
Yes, it's me. Thank goodness you finally responded. I've been trying to wake you up for some time now. It's like you were in a trance. Are you doing all right?
You know what? I'm fine. I was just making friends.
Are you sure? You were muttering some weird things and pacing around the room.
I feel like if I just insist I'm fine, it's going to be seen as a bit abrasive. You know what? I said I'm fine and I'm fine.
Right. Sorry for asking. Look, I know the sun isn't quite up yet, but I think I might get my day started now.
Yeah, I was right. That did upset her a little bit. Alina leaves the room. You can hear her footsteps trailing down the hall, and soon you hear her voice talking to somebody. I kind of want to snoop. I'm not saying I don't trust Alina, but, let's eavesdrop. You crack the door to see who Alina is talking to. It's her guard, Sasha.
Please don't stray too far from me. He's really starting to creep me out, I suppose.
What did he do?
I don't know. He's just not telling me something. Something important.
Well, I make sure to no harm befalls you, princess. You start to feel dizzy and decide to lay back in bed. You find yourself resting for more than an hour before you start to feel fully better. As the sun rises, you hear a knock at your door and Vladimir's husky voice from the other side. My liege, it is time for you to attend to the royal court. Please prepare yourself and meet us down there when you are ready. In the throne room, your royal courtiers take their seats adjacent to the throne. The guards open the doors at the grand entrance, and noblemen begin filing into the room. These people are responsible for governing the many holds of Lycia. It is your duty to make sure they have all they need to keep peace in the region they control. The first petitioner steps forward, a nobleman from one of the holds. My king, we were hoping for aid from the crown to improve literacy rates among the youth in our hold. This would better our future of our country, as these children will one day be servants of the crown and the Overseer. Okay, so we could either make sure schooling mandatory for ages 5 to 15. Okay, that ensures literacy. We shall pay for the needs of citizens enrolled in schools in that region. Oh, so okay, so one will make it mandatory, but they will still have to fund it. Well, I'm not entirely sure what our monetary state is. But, I mean, I can't imagine it would be too detrimental for our kingdom if we pay for the needs of the citizens enrolled in schools. An excellent plan, my liege. I would have suggested the same. What I wouldn't give for that to be mandated in my younger years.
Surely there's more we could have done, though.
Do take care not to hand out resources to so frivolously, my lord. Thank you, your grace. The man bows out of the room, and another steps up to take his place. This time it is a commoner standing before you, bowing just as the last did, as he too appeals for your help. We are experiencing a heavy drought in our region. I fear our stores will not last us through it. Oh, can I make... Would it be bad for the crops as I may just revitalize them? I feel like that might be the best option because then we're not compromising the other regions, right? So let's choose the majors. Gladly. I've been researching new techniques for agriculture magics.
Is that safe?
You can do that. May I accompany the High Mage? Perhaps we can turn to more orthodox methods in the future. Okay, I see how it's gonna go. So we've got our mage that quite approves my frivolous use of magic, but our church guy here is gonna want anything to basically Based scientific, right?
Your generosity is immensely appreciated, my lord, and will be spoken of for years to come.
The commoner leaves, and you feel yourself slipping into the rhythm of running the kingdom. A guard is the next to approach the dais. We have drunkards wreaking havoc in the streets at night. If something is not done, crime rates will rise, and innocent people are sure to get hurt. It seems like the best thing to do would be increase guard presence then, right? Yeah, that seems like a good idea to me. Before you respond, has even fully left your lips, a soldier bursts into the throne room and approaches you. Your guards cross their spears in front of him, barring him from getting any closer.
My liege, I have urgent news. You must heed my words.
You rise from your throne, feeling the urgency of the matter, still on your guard from last night's nightmare. What has happened?
They found the hideout of those rebel traitors, the Korvaskis. They're settled in a hold within the borders of Valicia. We must attack them while we still have the advantage of surprise, and finally snuff them out.
I am sorry, but we have no more troops to move. The last are busy in Lipski. As we are concerned about an uprising. To hell with the uprising! We all know it's not going to happen. We need to take care of the real threat at hand. These traitors want our king's head. Do you think these rebels have to do with their brother's death then, if they quite happily to murder the royalty?
I mean, the problem is the traitors are
In our borders.
They're not technically doing anything yet, but by the sounds of it, the uprising in
Livisk isn't really doing anything yet. You know what? Withdraw the troops and crush the rebels. I truly hope you are making a wise choice. Oh, joke's on you, Vladimir. I've never made a wise choice in my life. Trust me, my king. You're making the right decision. This is best for the kingdom. From your periphery, you see Pavel nodding his head in approval.
What of your subjects in Lipskis? Though
the royal court adjourns for the day after a few more decisions were made. As the last nobleman leave the courtroom, Vladimir walks up to you and lays a hand upon your shoulder. Congratulations on your first true day as king, my lord. I can see you still might be struggling with the weight of it all. If there's any guidance you feel you might need, know I am here for you as your loyal high priest. Should I mention my dream? Nah. You know what? I quite like the monster in my dream, so I will thank you and I will keep it in mind. Vladimir pauses for a moment, silently searching your eyes with a worried expression. Well, you know where my study is. I will be in there frequently for the next few days, if I am needed for anything. Of course. The day muddles by with you being careened around by servants, going to fittings for your wedding apparel, and signing various documents for the decisions you have made today. In the blink of an eye, it was time for dinner. You have a throbbing headache right behind your eyes, but you know better than to miss dinner. You know what's surprising? I don't think our mother really offered any opinions about our decisions. I don't imagine she's really approved. A headache is nothing compared to your mother's wrath. Cringing at the thought, you walk into the large dining room with the Lena attached at your elbow. As you eat, people discuss the matters of day, including the choices you made today at the royal court, some not being shy and letting the disapproval show. You look around and realize Danila is not in attendance and must be off to the rebels already. As you finish your food and prepare to leave, Vladimir stops you. Vulatin, perhaps we should go over your duties and responsibilities as the voice of the All-Seer once more. After today, I fear not all my lessons have stuck. You return to your bedchambers with Alina. Still so unfamiliar with each other, you both crawl into bed, saying very little to one another. You awaken in the same forest you saw last night. However, something is different this time. These woods, they don't feel as empty as before. They feel familiar. You feel at home here, in the company of family. In front of you, the woods are blackened out by some overpowering force. A pair of glowing yellow eyes peer at you. My friend, you've returned. It is good to see you again. Who are you? Believe it or not, I am your friend. I'm here to protect you. I believe it. I announced you were my friend the first time I saw you. Last night, didn't seem so. You seemed like you wanted to devour me. You were not listening. I had no other choice. What do you want from me? I want to save you. You are in danger. Danger of what? Somebody in the court is plotting your assassination. They want to finish the job they started with your brother. Huh. You know what? I trust nobody, so... Yeah, I can believe it. Who? Is it going to be Vladimir? It is not clear yet. I can sense very little in your world. I need assistance from you to find the one plotting your demise. Oh, you coincidentally need me to welcome you into my world, do you? I take it back. Maybe they're not plotting against me, or maybe I'm just going to get myself possessed and need an exorcism. But I'm down for that, so what is it you need from me? Only your trust. A dagger slides out from the blackness in the forest and stops at your feet. Oh, I could stab the figure. Oh, I wanted to try it so badly just to see what would happen. But I did announce we were friends, so I'll just take the dagger. As you take the dagger into your hands, the forest begins to fade. You wake up standing at your bed. Alina is sitting up, staring at you, frozen with fear. The dagger from your dreams is still in your hands. Val, put the dagger down! You instantly drop the dagger, and it hits the ground with a sharp clang. I'm sorry, it was... I thought... The dream, It's... okay. You're safe. Alina hesitates before moving you to sit down on the bed. She rests her hand comfortingly on your back, drawing small circles with her hand. Well, I think perhaps you should talk to someone about these dreams you've been plagued with. You're scaring me. You know what? It's nothing, I'll be fine. Perhaps we should keep our guards close by, both Sasha and Danila, at least until things get better. You don't trust me not to stab you, do you? I really don't feel that's necessary. I insist, Val, for the safety of us both. I said no. Valentin, you were holding a dagger above our bed. You can barely tell the difference between reality and these delusions of yours. If you wish for me to remain happy by your side, please fulfill this one request. It seems like I've got no option to agree, right? This actually seems... This one doesn't technically agree. By the Orsir, I did do that, didn't I? It will be okay, but I truly would be more comfortable having more protection around us. As you wish. A swift knock on the door startles you both, and causing Elena to jump. She gets up to answer the door, and there stands Vladimir. He quickly looks around the room, his eyes lingering on the forgotten dagger, before finally settling on you. My lord, it is time for court. The high priest glances around the room once more, before bowing out. Oh! So, I'm guessing our shadow has taken the dagger. Welcomes the shadow into this world, right? I let him in. You enter the throne room, and your royal attendants and advisors sit at your side as normal. The guards open the grand doors, and the first citizen begin filing into the court. The first to step forward is a farmhand from the outskirts of the kingdom. Sire, bandits have been ransacking our farms and stealing off their crops. Is there anything you may do to help? I don't feel like using food from other regions is going to fix the problem, right? But then again, the penalty for thievery, losing a hand, seems a bit harsh. But you know what? If you're not even sneaky enough to get away with thieving without getting caught, you deserve to lose the hand.
So barbaric! These ruffians must learn their lesson somehow.
Exactly. You want to get away with it and keep your hand? Be sneaky. Thank you, sire. The farmhand bows out and exits the room, taking his place as a local commoner. I come to speak on behalf of my town. After much deliberation, we have concluded that the construction of a dam would benefit the region and protect us from droughts. I mean, do I just take their word that the dam is good? Like, if you made sure that it's not going to negatively affect anything below you? You know what? I'm going to trust my kingdom has done its research, so build the dam.
A wise idea indeed. I'm so happy you listen well to your citizens and their needs, Val.
Perhaps we should have considered how this could affect the land before deciding. I'm sure someone's already done that. It's fine, Vladimir. You know, if I get assassinated, I might deserve it.
I appreciate you seeing me today, my king.
The commoner leaves, and you settle into your chair for the many decisions to come. It is a welcome distraction from everything else that has been happening as of late. A priest is the next to approach the dais. It is not often you see them out of their churches. My king, we need to see more church attendance in this region, especially during these times of demonic infestation. Please aid us in any way you can. I don't feel like church should be mandated. I think the problem is, like, you can require them to do what they like. That doesn't mean they keep the faith. You know what? No, I can't mandate them. They must go of their own will.
How splendid you give your people the freedom to choose.
Some do not know they need to be saved. On occasion, force is necessary. May your say will be done. Thank you. The priest exits just as those before him did. Court drones by. In this manner until you are down to the last request of the day. You know what I'm curious about? I'm curious if the identity of the assassin will change depending on the answers we give. Like, because my answers have mainly been the magic-focused approval ones, if that means Vladimir's going to be our assassin, and if it was the other way around, if Pavel would want us out of the way. A guard steps up and kneels before you. During the border patrol, some of my men encountered a magical plant in the region bordering Lear. What should we do with them? I feel we need to know their benefit. We shall harvest some for the college to study.
Intriguing. But I can't wait to help with that research. I wonder what species it is. Maybe we should leave it alone.
What if it's dangerous? Well, then we need to know it's dangerous, surely. I hope you are not being too rash in this decision, my child. As you wish, my king. As the last citizens leave the throne room, a band of warriors enter, their armor freshly scuffed from a recent battle. Behind them is a row of men, walking exhaustingly, and with their heads hung low. Their hands are bound by rope, and they are all wearing little but rags. Your Grace, our campaign against the Kubaski rebels was immensely successful. We have extracted them all. This is all of them? It's less than I was expecting. Astute observation, my lord. Many of the rebels have been sent to prisons to atone for their crimes. The ones we have before you are those who have chosen to repent and ask your forgiveness. My forgiveness? They have come to understand you as their rightful king, and that you are the mediator between them and the All-Seer. They want to stand again and do right in this life so that their souls shall be saved. I see. Well, what is it that I must do? Hear them out, and if you believe through your divine vision that these people are honest, we will allow them to join our forces and set them on the path of light that all Vilicians follow. I don't know how to feel about this, because they could just be lying, and they might just be really good liars. And it kind of sends a bad precedent, right? That you can rebel against us, you can potentially murder people if that's what they've been doing. And if you say, sorry, we repent and you're our king, we're just going to forgive them and allow them into our ranks. It seems highly dangerous to me, to be honest. Then again, if they're telling the truth, it would be cruel to punish them. Well, it wouldn't be cruel to punish them, I mean. Technically, their crimes are punishable by our court. You walk over to the row of bound rebels and motion for them to stand and speak. They tower over you when they rise, but you hold your ground and keep from showing any signs of intimidation. I, Artyom, of Kovask, speak for us all when I say we are here to repent for our sins and crimes against not only Valicia, but all the All-Seer as well. Please, have mercy on our souls. It sounds rehearsed, though his intent is clear. The man doesn't want to die or go to prison. From the corner of your eye, you see a guard whispering something in Vladimir's ear, and he rises to his feet and excuses himself. The Kovaski rebel, who had spoken for his group before, watches Vladimir as the door closes behind him. When the priest is out of sight, he faces you once again. I'll be entirely frank with you, Your Grace. I know nothing of your religion here, nor anything about this All-Seer, but if you are truly a good king, I am willing to follow you. My problem is, how can I believe that? I mean, you're already willing to rebel against the country and the kingdom. So you could all just be saying this to get out of the bonds, and then like 2 days down the line, you switch again, you go back to rebelling against us, you flee. And I mean, there's no... Likely you would do that because you haven't been punished. I mean, you might seem genuine, but we said you're sounding rehearsed. You know what, I want to know why you were rebelling in the first place. Many of us wanted to govern ourselves as an independent nation. Is that really so criminal? No, and I respect it. But since you failed, you are now subject to this kingdom's laws. And this kingdom's laws, you deserve punishment. It is not. You'll have to forgive me. Despite being king, I am new to the political happenings of our realm. You see, it was my brother who was supposed to be king. And well, you trail off, and Artyom watches you for a moment, growing slightly concerned. Your Grace, forgive the presumption. I'm not used to talking to people like you, but you look a bit unwell. I'm fine. I understand. It's none of my business. Forget I said anything. Wait, did we just let them off? That doesn't feel like the correct answer. I mean, maybe we could set up like some rehabilitation program where they're technically under arrest and imprisoned, but not to the same scale, like they're in a kind of midpoint. With the court dismissed, you walk with your wife to the dining halls. You are seated with the members of your royal court, as they are the closest thing you have to family besides your mother. Danila sits across from you, slouching back in his chair. It feels good to be back here. That was a hell of a campaign we just had. Well, we are delighted to have you back, sir. You do great things for our realm. I do things for our realm, that's for sure. And like I said, just call me Danila. Night business is more for your pretty boy over there. He points at Sasha with his fork, and the elf rolls his eyes and folds his arms. Say, Danila, I actually have a favor to ask. Danila grins. Anything for Valician royalty, my lady. King
Valentin has been having some strange bouts at night and, well, I was just wondering if our guards, you and Sasha, could keep watch over us through the night.
Alina, did you have to bring this up in the middle of dinner? In front of my mother? We could have just brought them aside later so no one needed to know.
Your mother, Esper, glances at you when she hears that you're sleeping trouble, but she says nothing. Dalila just shrugs.
Certainly, don't see why not.
The soldier gives you a sly grin.
Feeling nervous having a girl in your bed for once, huh? Sure, something like that.
As you all head up to your bedchambers, Sasha taps you on the shoulder and whispers to you.
Your Grace, may I have a word with you in private for a moment? Very well.
Sasha leads you around a corner. The agitation in his steps begins to make you nervous as the shadow figure's warning rings in your ears.
Look, in the court, I think you're a fine king, but I don't like how you have been treating Alina. I've been treating her just fine, apart from a whole dagger situation. This isn't really any of your business. This is entirely my business. I am her personal guard. I have no intention of harming Alina. There is no reason for you to be sticking your nose in situations it doesn't belong. This creepy stuff you are doing at night, it needs to stop. You're making her feel unsafe, and if that is the case, I am going to get involved.
The elf is glaring at you with a sternness nobody else has ever had the guts to meet you with.
Listen, I don't know what's happening to me at night. It's not something I can really help. That doesn't matter. What matters is Alina's comfort and safety. You seem to care about your patron's feelings more than any guard I've ever seen. I understand this is your job, but what is really going on?
Sasha looks to his left and right, as if checking for eavesdroppers.
If you must know, I'm her half-brother, and I am going to do everything in my power to make sure my family is comfortable here. Do you understand me? An elf is a royal half-sibling. I don't know how easy things have been here, but beyond your happy little kingdom, politics can get very complicated. There's a lot you don't know, and that might be your downfall if you don't start wising up. So start with this. Do not upset Alina, or you will have more enemies than you could ever handle.
Huh. Well, I certainly feel threatened. Is that a threat?
It's a warning.
Sasha stomps off, quickening his pace to catch up with his half-sister.
You know, I don't think I've made friends with him very well.
But it's fine, our shadow is still here. You enter your chambers and get ready for bed in your lavatory. It is very strange and uncomfortable having so many people in your room, but it seems it can't be helped while you're having these strange bouts of sleepwalking. You and Alina get into bed and snuff out your bedside candles. The guards are seated together at chairs at your window. You know, I just had a thought. If we had actually chose to stab the creature, would we have stabbed Alina, since we had the dagger in actual reality? Their eyes on you make it hard to sleep, but eventually you manage to drift off. As you anticipated, you awaken in the silent red forest, again, feeling a dark presence staring at you from deep within the woods. You do not see the figure that has been haunting your dreams, but a voice rings through the forest. Heed me, child. I am warning you. Someone is planning your death. You shouldn't have let those guards stay in your room. No one should be trusted. If you continue down this path, you will surely die. Do as I say tomorrow. I will guide you. You must trust me. I don't trust you at all. You're essentially like the demons from Talk to Me, right? You just latch onto me, get me to do your will. You're definitely gonna try to make me murder someone. You try to speak back to the voice, but you can't. It's like something is caught in your throat. As you strain to make a sound, you realize whatever it is in your throat is stopping you from breathing. Panicked, you gasp for air, but no matter how hard you try,
Nothing is entering your lungs. Help me! Help! You try to say, but it is so silent around you. Your ears are ringing. You jolt awake, sitting up in bed and gasping your throat. Finally, you gasp for air. The two guards are startled by the commotion and stand, unsure if they should help you or not. My lord, what is it? You respond weakly in between your gasp for air. I couldn't breathe. Another bad dream. Alina, laying next to you, put her hand on your back.
It's all right, Belle. You're safe. It was just a dream.
Right, a dream. You take a few more deep breaths and collect yourself. You notice the ringing in your ears is still there, but at least that awful sensation in your throat is gone. I'm fine. Let's just go to court. You and your advisors enter the throne room as usual, and the citizens begin to line up in the great hall. You hope perhaps filing your hair with conversation will help dissipate this annoying ringing. A guard steps forward, and you strain to hear him over the unbearable ringing in your ears. My lord, there is a plague affecting one of your horns. What should we do about it? Oh, I knew you were attached to my back.
Leave it, little lamb.
You needn't help them. Should I just listen to the spirit? I mean, the correct answer and what I was going to say was quarantining. I kind of want to listen to the demon. Let's do it. We don't have the resources to spare. Very good. If anyone comments on the decision you make, you can't hear it. The guard leaves and another takes his place. A cult has cropped up claiming you're not the true king of Alicia. Surely we must put a stop to them, your grace. They aren't worth your energy. And these cultists aren't worth my time or energy. Good. Keep listening. Your vision goes blurry. For a moment before refocusing, a noble stands before you and has already begun speaking. Nobility is coming from Lear to bring gifts to this royal highness. Trust no one, not even those bearing gifts. Those nobles will be barred from entering, and they should take their gifts with them. You're doing well, little lamb. You're quite literally leading me like a lamb to slaughter, right? You begin to feel a strange sensation. It's not a bad one, but something is off. The world around you is oddly fuzzy. Things are brighter than normal, but you don't mind. In fact, you're quite enjoying yourself. You suddenly find yourself back in your room. You have no idea how you got here, but it looks to be daylight out. You try your best to remember leaving court and having dinner, but nothing comes to your mind. Where your memories should be, there seems to be a black void. A knock comes from your door. Stay silent. The door slowly opens. A young woman enters your room. It takes you a moment to recognize her.
Belle, how are you feeling?
I'm all right. I've accepted the possession at this point. We are going to let it run its course.
Really? With all due respect, Your Grace, you've been acting very strange all afternoon.
Yes, well, I think I feel better now. Alina sighs, clearly exasperated by your avoidance of her help.
I will not watch you refuse help any longer.
If you won't listen to me,
will you at least speak to your high priest or high mage? If not for your own good, then at least for my peace of mind.
No, I don't think I will. Alina huffs and leaves the room, slamming the door behind her. Have I pleased you, Shadow? You kick the bedpost in frustration. You want help, but not from either of them. They can't be trusted. Perhaps no one can be trusted. You sit on your bed and hold your head in your hands. You want to scream. You want to break things, but all you can do is sit in your torment. At some point, it looks as though you had fallen back asleep. You're awakened under the covers and in your nightclothes. You have no idea how much time has passed, but it seems to be nearing evening now. The headache hasn't gone away, and now your body aches as though you have fallen ill. You turn on your side, expecting Alina to be with you, but instead, it's your mother you see, sitting at your bedside. Mother,
My child, you're awake.
her voice is different. You've never heard her this happy, at least not in a very long time. Mother, I think something is wrong with me.
Nonsense. You're doing wonderfully. I know this all must be very confusing for you, but understand this is for the best.
Imagine it would be such a plot twist that the mother is one that orchestrated our brother's death. I mean, it would be completely unexpected since the brother was the favourite. What are you talking about? Your mother cradles your weak body in her arms. You can't remember the last time she had even so much as touched you.
Know that I am so very proud of you. I could have not asked for a better son.
Your blood runs cold as you stare at the Queen. She is looking deep into your eyes, but no, she is looking at something else. Something inside of you. This grotesque smile she has. You've never seen it before. Every nerve in your body is telling you to run, but you can't even lift yourself out of bed.
You'll be well again soon. Here.
She reaches for a glass vial on the nightstand. It looks to have some kind of black liquid inside of it. Oh, I take it back. The mother didn't murder the older son. The mother's orchestrated it so the shadow is the older son, right? So she's trying to bring the soul back into our body. She tilts your head back and pours the liquid down your throat. It tastes like bitter sludge and burns like acid, and your vision gets dark once again. Last thing you see is your mother smiling down at you, praising you as you slip into unconsciousness. You awaken once again. The sky is now black outside, and you're alone in your chambers. Sweating and shivering in your bed, you feel a dreadful tightness in your throat. The last thing you want to do right now is stand, but your body is urging you up. You can feel yourself about to vomit. You stumble to the lavatory, holding on to the furniture to keep yourself from falling over. After what feels like ages, you reach the sink and double over, retching blood into the basin. You kneel there for several minutes, having what feels like a glass full of blood into the sink. That is definitely going to be our older brother, right? When it finally stops, you look up at the mirror. You stare at yourself, dazed and frightened, but something behind you quickly grabs your attention. The shadow figure from your nightmare now stands behind you in the mirror, staring at you with its glowing yellow eyes. I don't beg for anything. Let's punch the mirror. You refuse to let whatever this thing is torment you any longer. In a sudden burst of rage, you pound your fist into the mirror, and it shatters, sending shards of glass flying around you. You turn to face the figure, but it isn't there. The ringing in your ears and nausea have stopped. Exhausted, you collapse on the cold floor. At the sound of commotion, Alina enters and finds you lying there, surrounded by broken glass. She screams and calls for Sasha, who rushes in and lifts you in his arms. He's bleeding. Where should we take him?
I heard the Kovaski prisoner speaking about this being a possible demon. We should go see the high priest.
You are brought into Vladimir's study after dressing in warmer clothes. There, Velina, Esper, and Pavel seem to have been waiting for you. Danila sets you down in a chair in the middle of the room and covers your shoulder with a wool-shook blanket. Asper rushes over to you and cups your face in her cold palms.
Oh, my child, everything is going to be all right. We're going to make you better.
Pavel follows behind her. He looks even more nervous than your own mother.
How are you faring, my lord?
I'm frightened. I just want this done with. I want to get better again. Pavel nods. He looks very lost in thought. Vladimir opens his holy book and begins saying a prayer in Old Velician. You understand some of it from the priest's many lessons. In thy name, O holy Orseer, under whose gaze no wickedness may dwell, unseen and uncontested, we ask that your divine power may issue forth in radiant splendor to scour the impurities of that which has taken root within this poor mortal. As he continues, he looks at Danila as if it were routine for the sow sword, till he stands behind you and gently lays his hands on your arms. Just a precaution measure, my lord. I won't hurt you. Grant us, thine humble servants, the salvation of thine grace and mercy. We have trusted in thee, as have our fathers, and their fathers before, unto the beginning of ages. We cry out to thee in times of greatest need, and we, by our faith, are heard. Vladimir raises the cross of the Orseer above his head. It begins to glow a brilliant white, nearly blinding you. As the high priest continues, his voice raises to a fever pitch, flowing with power and resonating both stern and righteous. Too bright thou art for wickedness to dwell unharmed. Before thy light, in thy most holy name, we cry out unto salvation. Our succor is in thee, and the rescue of this tormented soul is but the least of thine wisdom and might. O holy and mighty one, let this light break forth upon flesh and spirit unclean, and let no evil remain. The priest then presses it to your chest. When he does, you feel nothing. In the long ages of our faith, we have cleaved unto thee always. Hear us now, our most blessed immortal. In the name of the holy Orseer, I command the powers of iniquity and shadow to disperse. Both Danila and Vladimir look at you in surprise. It's not burning him. It must be his divinity, as our king. Perhaps this will be easier than expected. Pavel raises his hand, attempting to stutter out a comment. Your Holiness, perhaps we shouldn't. We must carry on. The priest returns to his chanting in the old tongue. Before thine most sacred name, O Orseer, none can stand opposed. Thine light is as the radiance of flame unguarded, purging the unrighteousness from our humble souls. Until the ending of all things shall thine light shine, and ye, we shall quake before it, and fall upon our faces before thee. O vipers of the spirit, thou art as worms before the most holy one. In the name of the Orseer, let all before us be purified. You still feel nothing. Maybe I'm too far gone. Maybe I've welcomed and accepted the shadow so much that you can't separate it from my soul anymore. Vladimir stands back, staring at you, waiting for something to happen, but nothing does. I don't understand. I was certain this would work. The priest closes his book, stunned that his exorcism had failed. Danila lets go of your arms. What do we do in a circumstance like this, Your Holiness? Is it possible, Vladimir, that this may not be a... Suddenly, that dreadful sensation in your throat returns. You cough, but you can't breathe. You fall from your chair and claw at your throat, gasping for air. The people around you look on in horror, unsure of what to do. Vladimir frantically reopens his book and begins chanting again. On your hands and knees, you begin to vomit black tar. You panically attempt to take in air between your retches, but it only causes you to cough up more sludge. Your vision starts to fade, and you hear Vladimir calling out, No, no, no! Stay with me, my child. You're almost through. You're killing him! We need to stop! The pain and disorientation is overwhelming, but you fight with what little energy you have left to stay lucid. Eventually, the vomiting stops, and when your vision returns, you see a massive pool of tar coating the floor of the study. It is impossible to believe so much had come out of you. The room goes quiet, the silence only filled by your desperate gasp for air. Alina rushes over and embraces you. Val, you're okay! Thank the Orseer! Exhausted, You collapse in her arms, finally managing to take deep relieved breaths. However, when you look up at the others in the room, your blood runs cold. Something is wrong. They are frozen in horror, staring on at the pool of black liquid. You look over to what they're fixated on. The tower is beginning to shift and move, as if alive. Something is rising out of it. That is definitely brother. A figure emerges from your sludge. Then two piercing yellow eyes lock its gaze with you. A quick question though. I know he's technically our brother, but I did just birth him through sludge, right? Am I his father now?
Thank you, little brother. You have done well. Your duties are being fulfilled now. Vilicia's true king has returned.
Oh, that's the true end. You know what? I'm not going to complain. I don't want to be king anyway. That is a lot of effort and a lot of moral decisions I don't like. You know what's concerning? That if the Shadow is our brother and he was influencing us, why was he telling me to pick all the awful answers, like abandoning part of our kingdom? I don't think he makes a very good king. But anyway, we're going to ignore him this time because that should... I'm going to assume that's going to affect how much we're corrupted, right? So let's begin quarantining citizens that show symptoms.
You fool!
If anyone comments on the decision you make, you can't hear it. The guard leaves and another takes its place. I will send my men to neutralize the cultist by any means. This slander will not stand.
You should have listened to me.
Your vision goes blurry for a moment. Vilicia shall greet them with welcoming arms and open gates.
Your fate is sealed, little lamb.
The dizziness and incessant ringing in your ears is becoming intolerable. It's hard for you to even hear those speaking to you. We should push on. You try your best to ignore the awful ringing, but in doing so, you also begin to ignore those around you. You are brought back to reality when Alina puts her hand on your shoulder. You can barely hear her speaking to you.
Well, are you alright?
You know what? Yep, don't worry about me. I'm gonna be fine. This is the last thing you remember before waking up in your bed. So I wonder what would happen if we just begged for mercy. You can't stand the torment any longer. With pleading eyes, you beg whatever this thing is to leave you in peace. It extends its shadowy hand out to you. You feel as though you have no choice. Whatever this thing is, it has won, and you just want out. You reach towards the figure. When your hands meet, it disappears, and suddenly, you are alone again. You stand there for a moment, out of breath and fearful that the figure will return, but it doesn't. You feel safe, the first time in days. You return to your chambers. The room is still empty. Neither Alina nor the guards are there. I feel like we should go back to sleep. Sleeping solved everything. You return to your bed, still shaken up by what has happened. You feel exhausted, but you know you will return to those wretched woods if you fall asleep. Go to sleep. Almost suspiciously, you don't awaken in the Red Forest. In fact, it seems as though you had no dreams at all. As you fully wake up, however, you realize you are no longer in your bed. You appear to be in Vladimir's study. Esper rushes over to you and cups your face in her cold palms. Okay, so going to sleep didn't solve anything. Our brother was still reborn. So how about we just try and stay up? I mean, if we don't lose consciousness, no one can take our place, right? Despite your exhaustion, you're too frightened to go to sleep. You'd rather stay lucid, in control of your own body. You have no idea how long you've been up for. After a few hours, you get up and begin pacing to keep yourself awake. You pace until light creeps through your windows. You made it. It's morning. Relief washes over you as you hear life returning to the castle. The sense of safety almost has you doze off, but you are shaken awake by a knock at your door. Alina peeks her head in.
Valentin? How are you feeling?
Better. Good, even.
It's time for court. I will meet you in the throne room.
You get yourself ready and tightly drag yourself to the royal court. You slump back in your throne and begin your routine of tending to your citizens. You try your best to answer their queries, but you are barely aware of what you're saying. Only a few minutes into the session, you begin to doze off. We must fight to stay awake. The urge to sleep is almost painful, but you know sleeping is not an option. You must push through. As you continue, the throne begins to spin. You feel nauseated, and your chest begins to tighten. We are definitely going to pass out, but push on. You push on. You can't afford to give up now. You can feel your heart nearly pounding out of your chest, and the ringing in your ears returns. To your horror, the court begins to shape and morph into the silhouette of the red forest. Trees crop up from the floor, and the walls turn blood red. At the grand entrance, the figure enters. Stand your ground. What are you doing here? It sounds almost as if the figure is laughing at you, mocking your suffering as it watches you try to stay awake. The pain in your chest is overwhelming. You can barely breathe. I'm not giving up to you right now. You refuse to let this monster control you. The palpitations in your chest are so fast, you can no longer tell what is your heartbeat and what is your shaky breaths. Am I about to have a heart attack? Still, you resist. You stand defiantly and yell, I will never succumb to you, wretched fiend! Hear me! I will never back down. As you stand, you feel the room tipping sideways. I am the king of Valicia. You will not. You will not. You hit the marble floor with a resounding thud. When you orientate yourself once again, you're outside of your body, looking down at yourself. Your body is face down on the floor of the throne room. Pavel is crouched over you, checking your neck for a pulse. Everything begins rapidly fading around you, and you hear the distant voices of your court.
He just stood up, started screaming and collapsed. What happened? The little lord's heart gave out.
Damn! I really did die from a heart attack. You know what? Joke's on you, brother. I die, you die with me. I wonder what would happen if we just give in. Did that have the shadow taken over our body instead of just being reborn? You can't stand it any longer. You need to rest. You allow yourself to slip into unconsciousness, knowing you are in the safety of your friends. Once again, you are back in the Red Forest. This time, however, you don't sense the figure around you, but you're not alone either. In the far end of the clearing, someone is approaching you. It looks like you. We've been suffering so much. We're dying. Who are you? What do you mean? Don't you recognize yourself? You're lying. No, you're killing us. I need you to trust me. I have our best interest at heart. I have Felicia's best interest at heart. What are you talking about? Take my hand, and I will make shoes better. Have faith in yourself. The strange version of yourself approaches you and holds out his hand. You know what? I think we should stab him. Sorry, brother. You feel at your waist for the dagger that has accompanied you through these dreams. In one quick motion, you draw the dagger and plunge it into the throat of this imposter. What have you done? The figure in front of you doubles over, coughing up blood and holding its neck. I knew this was going to happen. What have you done, Callisto? Pavel collapses, his blood spilling onto the pristine marble floor. The crowd of citizens gathered in the throne room are crying out in horror. Killing the mage, it gave you a rush of energy you had never felt before. Your fear and confusion melt away into the excitement and vigor. You feel powerful, like never before. I'm thinking that if we had stabbed the creature in that early dream, we really would have stabbed Alina, right? Whatever had been tormenting you, it's gone now. No, it's changed. It's within you. It is you. You feel like God. I'm the Mad King now. Okay, so we should probably avoid the murder again, so this time, let's take the hand. You feel a sense of calm relax your shoulders as Valentin extends his hand out to you. This feels right. You take his hand, and suddenly, you're back in court. You look to have fallen on the floor in your slumber, and Pavel is crouched over you, examining you for injury. Your Grace. Yes, that's it. You're all right. You merely fainted. You go on to say something to him, but when you try, another voice projects over yours. Thank you, Pavel. I'm sorry, you see. I had very poor sleep last night. No, you didn't say that. That wasn't your voice. Are you feeling ill? Perhaps we should finish court early. You tried to tell the maid you need to leave court. Something is wrong. No, I'm all right. I'm feeling quite well, actually. Please, let's continue. Are you sure, Val? You sound like you may have a cold. You're overwhelmed with terror, and a scream bubbles up in your chest. But when you attempt to release it, your mouth doesn't even open. Puppet King end. I knew there was going to be one where he just takes over my body. You're evil, brother. Okay, so Sleepin has either got us possessed or killed, so that's probably not our best option. So how about we just look around the castle? Curious about where everybody is, you leave your chambers and begin wandering the halls of the castle. It is eerily quiet. There are usually guards about, but tonight you see no one. I don't know if that's suspicious or not. I mean, I'm pretty sure it looked like it was the middle of the night, so it would make sense why it's pretty empty. But no guards at all? I say investigate the throne room. The throne room? There's always someone in the throne room. It is at the very front of the castle, and constantly guarded. Surely you will find someone there. Well, we certainly found someone. You peer through the side door of the throne room. The grand hall is barely visible in the darkness, but on the throne, you see a shadowy figure. Startled, you instinctively reach at your waist, and to your surprise, you find a dagger. Even in the low light, you immediately recognize it as the dagger you were given in your dream the other night. Do you reckon this is just gonna give you the Mad King ending? Like, is this just gonna be Pavel again? Have a closer look. You need to know what's going on. You push the door open a bit more, and you can now clearly see two figures. Danila at the far end of the throne room, and Vladimir sitting on the throne. Oh! The door creaks as you push it, starting Vladimir and causing him to look in your direction. Your Grace, is that you? What are you doing? The priest shakes his head, as if in disbelief that you are not only awake, but out of bed. You shouldn't be up. Your mother should be looking after you right now. You aren't well, Valentin. I bet it was a conspiracy all along then. I mean, our mother was definitely in on getting our brother back, right, since she fed us that vial. And she probably got it from Valentin. Or Vladimir, I mean. I trust no one here. Where is everyone? And what are you doing on my throne? Vladimir stands and begins walking towards you. He waves at Danila, signaling something to burly swordsmith. Get the others. This can't wait any longer. It's time. Danila nods and exits through the other side door of the throne room, and without saying a word. What are you talking about? Understand, my king. You aren't fit to rule like this. You're unwell. You cannot be the voice of the All-Seer in the state you're in. As he approaches you, he reaches beneath the arm of his cloak. This is for your own good. The ringing in your ears returns tenfold, and your nauseating headache is creeping back up your spine. Huh. You know what? I don't think I want to puke up a brother today. Let's just stab Vladimir. You grab the dagger at your waist and plunge it into the priest's chest. His eyes flash surprise and horror, but quickly fade to nothingness. His body slumps over and crumples to the floor with a muffled thud, and a pool of warm red liquid forms around your feet. Across the room, you see Danila returning with Alina, your mother, and Pavel.
My child, what have you done? Oh, what have you done?
She wails in terror at the sight of you, still holding your bloody dagger close to your chest.
Valentin, no!
Alina's eyes are full of tears. She tries to run over to you, but Danila and Pavel stop her.
The high priest is dead and killed by the king, no less. What will we tell the people?
I say we tell them that he was trying to steal my throne, and this was all a coup. I am righteous in my decision to stab him.
No, this didn't happen. This wasn't supposed to happen. Grab that little monster!
I will stab you, mother. Danila rushes over to you and easily gets the dagger out of your hands. He tosses it across the room far out of your reach and puts you in a hold to restrain you. My queen, what shall we do with him? Excuse me, I am king. This is treason, that's what this is.
This is not my son. This is an imposter. Take it to the dungeons. We need to find my son.
Danila looks taken aback by his queen's words, but he does not question her. Yes, Queen Esper. As you are carried off, you hear your mother call out from behind you.
There he is, my child. You have returned. Thank the Allseer.
You twist your head to try to see what is happening behind you. Standing in front of your mother is the shadow figure that has been haunting you for days. Your mother is speaking to it as if it were an ordinary human.
I am so glad you have returned safely. That priest, he was trying to be rid of you. Oh, glory to the Allseer. He has returned.
Oh, the priest wasn't in on it. Maybe I should have trusted him from the start. Oh, blood sacrifice end. Okay, so it's time for us to test our theory. If we stab the shadow, do we stab our wife? You plunge the dagger into the darkness before you and a horrific screech echoes through the forest.
Ungrateful child, what have you done?
The screech warps into gnarled laughter.
What have you done? What have you done? What have you done? What have you done?
Pal, put the dagger down. Oh, well, the good news is we didn't kill our wife. Oh, that's different. Okay, so apparently I've been trying to get on the good side of Vladimir with all my options. I've managed to make some elves appear. As the last citizens leave the throne room, a group of elven nobles enter and kneel at your feet. The one in the center rises and gives you a deep greeting bow. My king, I come as representative of Livitsk to offer our esteemed gratitude. Had you pulled out your soldiers, many of my men would not be alive today. I am in your debt. Oh, that's why you never appeared before. I was getting you murdered by taking away the soldiers. The men beside him present a chest full of gold and luxury goods from the region. This is only a fraction of what we owe you for your dedicated protection, but please, take this as a token of our gratitude. Please, I only did what was right for the people. I can see you are making a fine king, and I expected nothing less of your lineage. If there is anything I can do for you, please let me know, my lord. As you know, Livisk is home to many fine goods and medicinals. I can't help but notice you look as though restful sleep has been escaping you. Perhaps I could offer some aid. You know what? Perhaps I could use some help. I'll leave some herbal samples with your servants. Your High Mage should also be able to offer better insight to what may be causing your troubles. Thank you for your kindness. Okay, Okay, so now that we know that Vladimir is generally trying to help us, must we just do nothing and allow him? Then again, maybe we'll just get the true ending again. Vladimir recovers from his cloak, a golden cross, the sigil of the All-Seer. This will protect us, my child. Come with me. The priest grabs your hand and walks you to the side doors of the opposite end of the throne room. You enter his study, a humble chamber with only the essentials the high priest needs to do his work. There, Danila, Alina, Pavel, and your mother are waiting for you. Oh yeah, this is giving me the true ending again. Well, alternatively, we could just run away. Bolting away from the throne room like a spooked deer, you make your way back to the main hall. You freeze in your tracks, trying to figure out where to go. I say we flee the castle. Why not? This is gonna end badly. There's something not right about the castle. You're not safe here. You dash through the corridors of the castle until you find a small door you recognize as an escape to the outside. You burst through the door and rush outside. You keep running despite the cold biting at your bare feet. After a few minutes of running, the cold begins consuming your entire body. You try to push on, but eventually your legs give way and you collapse in the snow. Oh, so the Red Forest does exist. When you lift yourself back up, to your horror, you realize you are in the Red Woods again. The forest is just as dreadfully quiet as it was in your dreams. You stand there for a moment, in disbelief. Your waking life has merged with your nightmares. This can't be real. Suddenly, the distant sound of wolves breaks through your concentration. You listen, trying to figure out where they are coming from. They're getting closer. What you reckon, run or hide? Run! You fear it's overwhelming you. That thing in your dream is after you. You're exhausted, you're cold, you're in pain. But you must keep running. You must. Your bones begin to ache as you push your body to its limits. There's a way out of this. You know it. You just need to keep pushing a little longer. As you continue running, your body begins to grow numb. You see yourself moving, but you don't feel it. As you round the crest of a hill, you lose your footing and tumble down the other side, landing in deep snow. Your breathing gets faint as the cold seeps deeper into your bones, chilling you to the core. As you lay there, you hear people calling out to you somewhere in the woods. Valentin! Valentin, please come back! We need to get you help! It's no use. We need to return to the castle or we'll freeze to death in this blizzard. You try to call back to them, but you're too weak to make any more noise than a whisper. The calls start to get more distant. You try to crawl back up the hill to see them, but your joints lock up. Their voices become fainter. Eventually, you can't hear them anymore. You can't hear anything at all. Even the ringing in your ears has ceased. You let out one last weak breath as your vision fades into the white snow. Runaway end. Well, technically, we did manage to escape. It's just rather unfortunate that I escaped through death. Okay, so we've managed to get a couple of endings that have Vladimir's focus, right? So surely it's going to be one that's reversed that has Pavel, so if we just pick all of his options. Pavel gets up from his chair and heads towards the door, but not before stopping by you to talk. You're turning into an excellent replacement, king. We noticed that earlier, right? Like he was speaking about Callisto. Maybe he's the one I shouldn't be trusting. If you ever wish to talk, please stop by my study. He then briskly leaves, his wings fluttering slightly behind him. That's gotta be our last ending, right? Okay, so this seems like the best place to trigger a Pavel ending, if we just choose to go speak to him about the nightmares we've been having, right? Alright, I'll speak to Pavel. You descend the main stairs to the deepest reaches of the castle. The walls change from ornate carved woods to impassive stone, and you feel a cold breeze draft through the halls. You have reached the underbelly of the castle, a place you've always known was here, but you never had the guts to explore. You walk down a long corridor, checking each room for Pavel. At the very end, you finally find him, his face pressed intently in an arcane book that appears to be about soul binding. Oh, an interesting subject matter. He clearly knows things going on with us then. As you enter, he jumps and looks at you confused. Your Grace! Pavel, I need help. Something is wrong with me. Pavel blinks at you, not saying a word. You see, I've been having these nightmares, but they seem to be spilling over to my waking life now with these awful headaches. And through the night, I know. You do?
Yes, I know many things. Too many things.
I heard Asos brought medicine for me. I thought maybe you could help me turn it into a cure for my ailment.
No, these won't help.
The mage begins pacing back and forth in his chambers, momentarily looking up at you, only to resume his ruminating. How can you be so sure? Please, Pavel, I need something to stop this. He stops his pacing and stares at you.
I know what is wrong with you, Your Grace.
He begins approaching you.
This isn't something you simply find a cure for. It's more complicated than that.
What is it then? The mage walks past you and locks the door. The room falls eerily silent as you look at each other.
This is all my fault. I was only doing what I was told, but I fear my magic has birthed an even larger problem than what the kingdom started with.
Okay, so my initial theory was correct. I just got the character wrong. Our mother did conspire with someone to bring back the older son. What are you talking about? Pavel doesn't even seem to be paying attention to you as he continues rambling.
This was for good of our great country, for the good of the All-Seer. I only did what God had asked me, but now we're here.
His eyes fall back to you.
I'm so sorry, little lord. I never meant for you to get tangled up in this mess.
Pavel? He takes a few hesitant steps towards you.
I need to fix an error. This was not meant to happen.
Pavel draws a dagger from his waist. Wait!
This isn't your fault, my child, but I must save our kingdom from what is ulcerating within you.
In one swift motion, Pavel buries the dagger into your neck. God damn it, Pavel! Is this revenge from me murdering you? You feel blood pool leaping your throat. You try to scream, but all you do is gurgle and cough. Your knees buckle, and you hit the stone floor. You feel the warmth leaving your body as you stare up at Pavel in disbelief. The mage is staring at the ceiling with pleading eyes, his hands clasped in prayer.
Please, Lord, I beg of you, forgive me. Oh God, forgive me. Forgive me, forgive us all.
Angel of Death. This does explain a lot though, like Pavel's attitudes towards the true end, when he knew what was going on with us and that's why the ritual wasn't working. You know what? This does feel like justice. I did murder him in the Mad King end. I feel like we should get one more ending, where we get to kill the mother. I mean, she did basically sacrifice us on attempts to bring back our brother. If you enjoyed your time here, I'd greatly appreciate you to like this video and subscribe to this channel. But other than that, you have a spooky day and I'll catch you next time, guys.